So what you're seeing right now is a completely new account. This account has not been played at all, other than the tutorial part. I've just finished a tutorial, I downloaded the additional stuff, and now we're in the welcome screen. We have not touched our gems yet, we haven't built anything, we haven't even touched the settings, so we're just gonna go through everything that you probably should do as a new player. Just walking through everything that I would do if I start a new account. So yeah, let's begin. Just close everything, please. Please let me get my rewards. Oh wait, I can't get the tickets yet because I have to complete the stage missions. Okay, now I can get the tickets. Okay, we got quite a bit of gems. I believe we still have more because we still have stuff in the gift box. Come on, let me get my gems. Let me get my gems. There we go. We have almost 4,000 gems. Can we just unlock a guy immediately? We couldn't unlock anyone. We kind of are limited on the world characters, so we can't just unlock. Before we do anything, the first thing we do is probably just change the settings because the default settings aren't very good. Okay, let's... okay. Power usage always turned out to max. That's a huge difference. It's suddenly so much smoother. Even though it does use a bit more battery. I think it's absolutely worth it. I prefer top-down view, manual 2, self-chain on, toggle button. Okay, for camera, it doesn't really matter because it doesn't affect gameplay, but card position, chain, and activation confirmation always choose these options. It will help you in PvP. So, let me explain what each of them does. Card precision, it allows you to place cards in any zone you want. So, the auto option, you place cards in autos, like they place in automatically, so you can't choose the zones. It's always going to be in the middle first, and then the right, and then the left. But if you use manual 1, you can choose where to place monsters. You choose manual 2, you can choose where to place monsters and spells and traps. That is going to be useful because some decks, they gain effects when you place cards on the same column, like Mech Knights. So you kinda don't want to place all your cards in the same column with auto, if you could. So you can just split them up, so that they won't be affected. Okay, self-chain is, you could activate an effect in response to your own effects. But if you turn it off, it won't give you that option. If you're playing a deck like Harpies, the deck only kind of works if you turn the self-chain on, because your boss monster, Cyber Slash, requires you to chain itself to one of your own spells and traps to bounce a monster. And if you turn that off, you kind of can't do that. The game just kind of skips over the activation box, and you just can't activate the effect. So that kind of sucks. So you always want to turn that on. For the activation confirmation, use toggle button. Even if you don't really use the toggle button, it's just good to have it there. And what it does is that it allows you to have a little button on the left side to choose when the game asks you to activate an effect. Automatically, it's on auto, which means the game decides when you get asked if you want to activate an effect. And that's okay, that's good usually, but sometimes you want to activate in a very specific timing. For example, if your opponent has a card called Elemental Hero Sunrise, it destroys a card when their monster attacks. You don't want them to do that. You want them to enter their battle phase and then activate an effect before they attack. Otherwise, they could immediately trigger the attack effect when they declare an attack. You don't want them to do that. So what you do is you turn the toggle to on, so as soon as they enter the battle phase, before they declare an attack, you could immediately activate a spell or trap or a quick monster effect, and you could stop your opponent from activating their effect. You could get rid of your opponent's sunrise before they could even attempt to trigger the effect. So that's what the toggle button is for. I like 3D visuals, so I don't leave them on. I don't use character lines because they spend a lot of time. Again, that's just your own preference. Doesn't really affect the gameplay. Showing player names is fine. So yeah, that's basically what the settings of my account would be. And I also like to hide global chat because it's just annoying and it doesn't really do a lot. So yeah, and allow saving unlimited decks. Yeah, that should be it. No, I don't want to go to the thing. Okay, let's open some boxes. But before we open any box, the one thing that I would advise anyone to do with a new account is to just get the structure deck. Get the red eye structure deck. It's all the way down. All the way down. Oh. It's here. It's the May 2019 Return of the Red Eyes. It's back in a period of time when they still release non-EX structure decks. You can see the structure deck doesn't have the little EX thing, and that's because EX structure decks cost double the price than a normal structure deck. And they're just doubling the prices of structure decks for absolutely no reason. So yeah, as I said, Return for Red Eyes, really good structure deck. It only cost 500 gems. There's really no reason not to get it. It's guaranteed. So you get this stuff immediately. And you can immediately build a functioning Red Eyes deck that actually wins games. You have to use that crappy Yugi starter deck. Okay, the next thing we do is we use 3 of our super rare tickets. You got a whole bunch from just starting to play the game. So what we do is we immediately go to the SR tickets, we choose the spells, we go and we find where Insight is. Yeah, here it is. We play 3 copies of Insight. And we click confirm. And then, because we chose Yugi as our starting character, the first skill we're gonna get is immediately going to be Destiny Jaw. You can exchange that immediately, so we don't have to grind a skill. Okay, so I've made a tiny change to the deck to actually include Red Eyes because I kind of forgot that the deck doesn't have Red Eyes. And also we are going to play a copy of Mirror Force because we have that card for free, and it's a pretty good card, at least for new players. It destroys all your opponent's monsters, and that's always good. And yeah, that is probably going to be the final version of the Red Eyes starter deck that you're going to use. So the main game plan of the deck is as follows. We activate Insight. We're going to discard something that's not the regular Red Eyes, and then we grab Red Eyes Fusion. And then we activate Red Eyes Fusion, and we can fuse the Red Eyes and any warrior monster. We're gonna choose Red Eyes in our hand because we drew it, but if you have it in your deck, you could use it from your deck because the card is really good. So yeah, we're gonna use Red Eyes in our hand and our warrior in our deck, and we're gonna make Slash Dragon, and this will be our boss monster. And when a Red Eyes monster attacks, we can activate the effect of Slash Dragon to equip a warrior to itself. And now, if our opponent tries to activate a effect that targets our monster, we could negate and destroy that monster or card. And yeah, once we have a Red Eyes deck, none of the challenges in the game are actually challenges. There we go. We have obtained Slifer, and that card is going to be pretty useful for farming. So we're gonna grab Slifer. Okay, let's open some boxes! Okay, so if you're a new player and you have absolutely no idea what box to open, and you want to use the least amount of gems to get the best deck possible, the box you're gonna go is going to be Pulse of Quasars. And the reason why this box is good is, first of all, it's a mini box, so as you can see, it doesn't have a lot of packs, it only has 100. And if you go to a main box, for example, the one next to it, it has 180, which is more expensive. If you want to get the cards in the big boxes, you're gonna have to open more packs because it's a bigger box, and you're gonna use more gems, and you don't want that. So mini boxes are amazing for budget and new players. Second of all, Pulse of Quasars has a really good deck in Sulphur Chords. Sulphur Chords is a Pendulum deck. It may be confusing for new players, but it's honestly not that difficult once you just play the deck for a while. So when you play this deck, you're gonna learn about how to use pendulums. Honestly, this is probably one of the not so confusing pendulum decks if you know what odd and even numbers are. And we also have a skill that kind of just makes this deck really consistent. So once you have a Sulphur Chord deck, I have a video on that. You can just use it to get to King of Games. You can go to Ranked and just play that deck, and you could get all the way into King of Games. I have done that before, using a free-to-play version of that deck. And also you get a really good trap in Cloak and Dagger. This might not be very useful for new players because you don't know what to declare, because how this card works is that you declare a card name, and if your opponent normal summons or special summons or flips that monster face up, that monster immediately gets banished. And obviously you kind of need to know what deck your opponent is playing and what monsters they have, so you know what to declare with the trap. So it might not be very useful for new players just because you're not very familiar with the cards in the game, and you can't just tell what your opponent is playing just by just looking at one of the archetype cards of the deck. But once you get a bit more used to the meta, or just know more cards in general, you can kind of get better and better in predicting what your opponent is going to play, and you can declare the key monsters, and you can just banish it without them staying on the field. And also, if your opponent grabs a monster from your deck to their hand, you saw that monster, you know the monster's name, you can declare any monster that they grabbed from the deck to their hand because they're required to reveal it. So you can just remember that name, or you can just go back to the duel logs, look at that name, and you just declare that name so they can't summon it. It's a really good trap. And another deck that's really good is Time Lords. Time Lords is not only good at stalling, which they do really good, they're also really good at ranked. I have gotten the King of Games with Time Lords. The deck is both good at farming and good at PvP if you have some of the rank 10 Xyz monsters. And yeah, it's another deck that you might want to consider getting. And also recently we got Zone in the gate, so you can actually unlock him. So it's another deck that you might want to build if you open this box. And so you also get Shooting Quasar Dragon, Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend. These cards are also pretty good. So if you want to build, for example, a Resonator deck, you can use Red Rain from the deck. If you want to build Synchrons, you can use Synchron Overtake. has pretty good stuff other than sulfur codes and time lords. And also, we have Triamid loading, which is good for Triamids. But we're not going to open this box because instead of getting probably the best box that I would recommend, I would get a box that I like the most. If you have been watching my stuff for a while, you know which deck I like the most. You know exactly what deck I just cannot stop playing. It's all the way in Cybernetic Rebellion. We're not getting Cyber Dragon. Cyber Dragon is a nice bonus. What we're wanting is Christians. Because it's Christians, come on. They're amazing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open a few packs of this box and hopefully get some Christian cards. Okay, so we've used our own gems and we pretty much got nothing. That's kind of what you expect if you don't go for mini boxes. So I couldn't complain that much, honestly. Okay, so as you can see, we're playing against Ishizu. It's part of the staged duels that you need to clear to get Obelisk. It's like the Slifer duel, but instead of getting Slifer, you get Obelisk. And because it's a staged duel, the character will never disappear until you win. Oh, that's amazing. He could summon a Guido again. But yeah, because it's a stage duel, she just won't disappear until you win. So it's a little something that we can kind of use as a little exploit. Because we could use her to clear our missions. We have a mission to unlock Monster Reborn that requires us to destroy 30 monsters. Oh, he just keeps rolling forward. That's amazing. Okay, because we have a mission that requires us to destroy 30 monsters, we can just not win. We could keep attacking into her monsters, and by the end, when she runs out of cards in the deck, we just surrender, and that will count towards the missions. So what we're gonna do is just not win. We're gonna keep attacking her monsters until she runs out of cards, and then we scoop, and we clear the mission. And she still stays on the world. She doesn't disappear. Oh wait. I need to scoop. Almost forgot to scoop. Oh, come on. Let me scoop. Yes. There we go. And now she stays on the field. As you can see, let me find Ishizu again. Yeah, Ishizu is a special one. So as you can see over here, look at this Yami Yugi. That's a normal legendary duelist. There's the icon is round, but the special ones are hexagon and it says event. And also, there is no drop rewards because that's a staged game, and we can kind of exploit that to. As you can see, we destroyed 30 monsters, so we got Monster Reborn. So yeah, that's probably all we could do in this video. We don't have dream tickets yet because we get them on the second day, so we couldn't get ourselves free copies of Book of Moon. But once we do, we will immediately try to get them, and maybe we could try to win some games using our Red Eyes deck in Ranked. And hopefully, when we get more super rare tickets, and maybe when we get a bit more cards, we can make a farm deck using Slifer and Monster Reborn and Full Turn that we just obtained. So yeah, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. See you next time.